I don't know what happened to my video here, but it looks like some of it got erased or something. Just going to show you these 2 points again. Some of the few flakes I found, bigger flakes. Nice big flake there. A lot of micro flakes up here, what you normally get when you're making little bird points. You almost have to turn everyone over and make sure it's not a bird point. But I think they're all coming from that topsoil over the top, so I don't know what's out in that field. I think it's all grass. Looks like a fence post right there. And get back in this cold water, cool off a bit. Catch you later. Hi everyone, this Rock Hunter here, and I've got to add just a little clip to those 2 bird points. That clip you just saw, most of that got erased in situ pictures, so I'm just going to add this onto it. Just a few rocks I got stacked around out by my burn pile. Most all this is local stuff. Some nodules, big nodules. Some Jeff City church, kind of brown. Really pretty pattern. Here's a piece of Jeff City too. That's a lot of the nodules look like that. Many layers on them. You could break them in half a lot of times. That's what it looks like on the inside. I want to pick these 2 up. Just some kind of preforms, more nodules, fired rock. That's fired Jeff City chert. Just a few pieces. That's a pudding stone I got in Lake Michigan when I lived in Michigan. They had a severe erosion back in early 80s, and you could pick those up by the bushel then. Some more nodules. Fossil, I think I found that down by Fort Smith, Arkansas. Poto, Oklahoma. More Jeff City chert. You can see how that nodule's got many layers on it also. Here's another one, same thing. Pieces of glass I find in the creeks and rivers. This is a conglomerate pudding stone found up in Michigan. They did make some, I think they made some birdstones out of this, made some axes out of that. There's some more Jeff City chert. You see different layers in that one also. That's been in the river for quite a while. Some more Lake Michigan stuff. They make a lot of, they cut this with saws and make a lot of jewelry out of it. Really want to talk about is this Alibates dolomite found in western Oklahoma when I lived out there in 86, 87. This is how it looks in the raw state. Found this up on a terrace, South Canadian River. That white stuff is caliche on the bottom of it. There's a small pebble. Here's some pieces that I had a friend of mine make. Of some of the pieces I found out there. He made this little Dalton. Really good flint napper, Patrick. Little bird point, dart point. This is a beautiful little piece. how thin that's paper thin. Beautiful work. And let's see, where we want to start. Let's start with some. Here's just a piece. I believe this is just a flake. Though it's sharp, I picked it up. Thumb scraper. Found this on one of the hills overlooking the South Canadian River. There's another scraper, thumb scraper. It's more of a brownish tint to it. Here's kind of a side scraper, end scraper. Been worked on inside of this. All on this outside, been flaked. You can see the original cortex on it. Here's a drill. I'm not sure if it was a lance point at one time. Found this actually up in the sand hills. It's got a lot of sand polish on it. And there's another one, this drill, this little T-drill also. A lot of polish on it. And here's a little, I think it's a Washita point. First point I found in Oklahoma. I was crossing a barbed wire fence and looked down, and it was just laying there in a group of cedar needles, pine needles. Here's another one I found that same day. It's not finished yet, I don't believe. And here's a Gary point I found also. Really pretty stripes in it. And here's a little tool. Been sharpening all on the inside of that. Probably used as a, I don't know what, anything they want, cut with it. It's still sharp. Here's a piece of Alibates that's almost pure white. It's got a little bit of red in it. You can hardly see it. So it does come on, you know, it does come in a white. Some of those streaks in the rocks, if you can find it big enough. Like here's some white streaking on this. This is Clovis Point. Found that in the cow path. I think it was the day after I found that Washita point. Super piece. It's got a little damage right here on the tail of it. You can see how the patina is a lot lighter. I believe a cow stepped on it, snapped it. Remember when I found this, I was disappointed. It didn't have any notches in it. I didn't know what kind of point it was until about three years later. I was actually looking for a Arrowhead knife, which they found quite a few out there. So that's about sums all these my Alibates up. That's a real pretty material. And this stuff was washed down the South Canadian River many hundred miles. I think it washes clear down into Arkansas, into the Arkansas River. And I guess that's about it. Petoskey stones. Need to get out and look for some more and Fall's coming, a lot cooler. Well, it's not cooler yet, it's still 90 today. When I mentioned Arrowhead knives, I forgot all about the one I have. I walked many miles trying to find one. This one's in the used up condition, but it's all there. Steep bevels, both ends. Just a pretty little piece. First time I saw one of these, we were hunting rattlesnakes on the bottom of a buffalo jump, and the landowner came out there. It was actually a rancher, and he knew we were hunting snakes, and he had just found one of these down in the creek there and showed it to us, and I just couldn't figure out how in the heck they ever made. His had more of a spiral to it than this one. It's actually down in a salt creek, I think it was east of Canton Lake, and that stream had a lot of high salt content in it. They had a great big old like evaporating pans made by the settlers, and they would evaporate that water and get the salt. I'm sure all the buffalo in the area used to come in there and look that ground, eat that ground also. But I know a lot of ranchers out there have found quite a few of these. And these were used for skinning buffalo, primarily by the Plains Indians. This probably would have been 2 or 3 times longer than that when it was new. And thanks for watching.